The rustic tranquil garden is envisioned as a simple yet deeply evocative landscape, where every element bears the mark of rusticity and sustainability. A significant part of integrating the home with this natural setting involves focusing primarily on adding some carefully selected small flower pots to the house's porch, creating an immediate rustic welcome. The backyard, though not vast, is divided into small zones with distinct functions, maximizing the use of space without sacrificing its natural charm. The eastern corner, where the gentle morning sunlight streams in, is reserved for low-growing plants such as lavender, thyme, and native wildflowers. The western side, where afternoon shade stretches across, becomes the domain of perennials like dwarf pines, geraniums, and a few small fruit-bearing trees such as wild apples. The central area, near the entrance from the house, is chosen as the focal point with an oval-shaped bed planted with wild daisies, mint, and aromatic grasses, creating a centerpiece that is both rustic and relaxing. Each zone is arranged to blend harmoniously with the surrounding landscape, preserving the raw essence of the earth and sky while remaining easily accessible for care. The work begins with soil preparation, a foundational step to turn the vision into reality. The soil in the backyard, long neglected, has become hard and depleted of nutrients, interspersed with dry grass roots and fragments of rotted wood. Small pebbles are retained and scattered across the surface rather than removed entirely, aiding drainage while enhancing the natural rustic feel. The soil is not overly leveled. Instead, small natural mounds are preserved to maintain a rugged texture, honoring the inherent wildness of the space. This process requires meticulous attention, from digging each patch of earth to checking moisture levels to ensure the soil suits the chosen plants. The irrigation system is designed with minimalism to align with the garden's rustic spirit. A small water tank, crafted from recycled wood and stained a natural earthy brown, is positioned in the southern corner of the yard, connected to a handmade network of bamboo pipes. These bamboo pipes, drilled with evenly spaced holes, run along the plant beds, allowing water to trickle slowly into the soil without causing waterlogging. A simple hand pump is used to draw water from the tank into the system, conserving energy while preserving the garden's unrefined aesthetic. Rainwater is collected from the roof through a homemade wooden gutter, flowing directly into the tank for reuse, establishing a water cycle close to nature. In shaded areas like the western zone, the soil is kept moist naturally with a layer of dry grass mulch, minimizing the need for artificial watering. The small pots on the porch, being more exposed, required separate gentle hand watering, becoming a small daily ritual connecting with the space. Natural light is harnessed to its fullest to nurture the garden without excessive intervention. The eastern corner, home to lavender and thyme, is kept open and unobstructed by the house or large trees, ensuring the morning sun bathes every leaf. The western area, with dwarf pines and geraniums, takes advantage of shade from the house wall and a nearby old oak to create a cool environment suited to shade-loving plants. The central oval bed is positioned to receive even light from morning to afternoon, allowing wild daisies and mint to grow uniformly without scorching. The porch pots were strategically placed to receive adequate morning sun, while being shielded from the harshest afternoon rays, ensuring the smaller plants thrived. A few large branches near the garden are lightly trimmed to prevent overshadowing, but most of the canopy is retained to maintain a natural, tranquil atmosphere. The rustic tranquil garden gradually transforms as spring arrives. The first lavender sprouts emerge from the soil in the eastern corner, small but sturdy, releasing a faint fragrance under the morning sun. Thyme spreads into lush green mats, blanketing the ground and offering a cool, approachable feel. Wild daisies in the central bed bloom, their fragile white and yellow flowers swaying in the breeze, blending with the deep green mint leaves to form a simple yet vibrant scene. In the west, dwarf pines sprout new shoots, while geraniums unfurl clusters of red and pale pink flowers, dotting the green foliage. The wild apple trees, though still young, sprout new leaves, promising a modest harvest by year's end. On the porch, the small pots added splashes of coordinated color right by the entrance, enhancing the welcoming, rustic feel. This space, filled with the rustling of leaves and distant birdsong, becomes a serene haven for the soul. To enhance its rusticity, natural decorative elements are added both within the garden and connecting it more strongly to the house. A small path is crafted from old, haphazardly arranged stone slabs winding between the plant beds, both practical for movement and in harmony with the landscape's raw aesthetic. At the center of the oval bed, a long wooden bench is placed beneath the nearby oak's shade, painted an earthy brown to blend with the surroundings, offering an ideal spot to enjoy the garden in the afternoon. Near the western corner, a modest pile of firewood is stacked from dry branches gathered in the yard, serving as both decoration and a resource for chilly nights. Crucially, the primary focus on the porch involved arranging several small, weathered terracotta flower pots, their simple forms and earthy tones reinforcing the rustic theme right at the house's edge. A few old, naturally cracked clay pots are also scattered near the lavender bed, planted with additional aromatic grasses to enrich the garden's scent. These details are understated, quietly accentuating the space's simplicity and peace. Artificial lighting is introduced subtly to extend the garden's beauty into the night without breaking its tranquility. Small wooden lanterns powered by solar energy are hung from the oak's branches or placed along the stone path, casting a soft golden glow over the lavender and daisies. This light is gentle, just enough to highlight the plant's rustic contours, creating a sense of the garden breathing softly in the dark. An old oil lamp is set on the wooden bench, ready to be lit on moonless nights, adding a warm, nostalgic ambience to the serene landscape. A single, small solar lantern might also be placed amongst the porch pots, tying the entrance lighting into the garden's gentle nocturnal glow. The garden's fragrance becomes an integral part of its stillness. Lavender wafts a gentle scent each morning, mingling with the subtle spice of thyme and the coolness of mint, forming a natural symphony of aromas that never overwhelms. The nearby porch pots, especially those with herbs, contributed their own subtle notes to this olfactory tapestry when passing by the entrance. The breeze rustling through the dwarf pines, the crunch of dry leaves underfoot, and distant birdsong blend into a soft background melody, heightening the sense of calm. bees and butterflies begin to visit, flitting between the lavender and daisies, adding a touch of life to the otherwise tranquil space. The rustic tranquil garden is not just a landscape, but a story of returning to nature. From an empty plot, it has become a lively yet simple space, where every plant and flower contributes to a shared sense of peace. The central oval bed, with its daisies and mint, serves as a gentle focal point, while the eastern and western corners add variety with lavender, dwarf pines, and wild apples. The consistently maintained small flower pots on the porch act as a constant, welcoming preface to the larger garden beyond. As the first blooms fade, they are replaced by late-flowering species like oxeye daisies and bellflowers, keeping the garden fresh without losing its rustic essence. To increase diversity, ornamental and pollinator plants are introduced. In the eastern bed, lavender is interplanted with cosmos, offering fragrance and attracting bees for pollination. Near the L-shaped zone, small shrubs like honeysuckle are added as a green backdrop, while wild sunflowers are sown to extend blooming into late summer. In the central bed, a few small junipers are incorporated, their soft green foliage bringing a gentle hue overhead. This mix not only enriches the landscape, but prolongs the garden's vitality across seasons. The irrigation system is upgraded to meet the expanded garden's needs. Additional bamboo pipes are installed, extending from the main tank to the new beds. A rough filter of dry grass and pebbles is added to remove debris from rainwater, ensuring unobstructed flow. The hand pump is replaced with a larger version, sufficient to water the entire area while retaining its rustic charm. A small pond made from recycled wood is dug in the northwestern corner, serving as both a rainwater reserve and a feature with floating water plants. Water from this pond is redirected into the irrigation system as needed, forming a sustainable closed loop. The rustic tranquil garden grows richer as plants mature. Verbena and bellflowers in the L-shaped zone bloom, creating a winding ribbon of purple and green amid the leaf mulch. Azaleas and rosemary in the southern bed rise tall, their dark green leaves standing out in the backyard. Lavender mixed with cosmos wafts a gentle scent in the east, while junipers in the central bed drape like a soft green curtain. The central bed remains the heart, with daisies, mint, and junipers crafting a lively rustic scene under the sun. Natural artistic elements are added to enhance the space. A wooden archway is erected at the entrance to the L-shaped zone, draped with climbing honeysuckle, evoking a magical natural corner. Near the pond, large stones are stacked, offering raw solidity. A low wooden wall etched with leaf patterns is built near the azalea bed, framing the greenery. These larger additions balance the smaller, consistent detail provided by the porch's flower pots. These details elevate aesthetics while weaving a rustic narrative throughout the garden. Biodiversity is further encouraged. Pollinator flowers like cosmos and verbena attract bees and butterflies, while the pond becomes a haven for birds and insects. Wooden birdhouses hung on the nearby oak draw sparrows and finches, adding morning chirps. Azaleas and leaf mulch provide shelter for beneficial insects, forming a small ecosystem where all elements thrive together. As a new season begins, the garden is refreshed. Soil is enriched with leaf mulch and bark, preparing for plants like gladioli and sweetgrass. Some beds are sown with wildflowers for a natural look, while the pond area gains water lilies for variety. This cycle keeps the garden flourishing, each season bringing a fresh, peaceful face. The rustic tranquil garden evolves endlessly over time. Spring glows with lavender and bellflowers, summer teems with thyme and wild sunflowers, autumn warms with wild apples and azaleas, and winter softens with dwarf pines and junipers amid a leaf blanket. Through it all, the simple presence of the small flower pots on the porch remains a constant, grounding element connecting the house to the ever-changing garden. Over time, the garden grows richer with experiments that maintain its tranquil rusticity. Night-blooming flowers like moonflowers and evening primrose are sown in some beds, offering scent and beauty after dark, their white petals glowing under lantern light. Drought-tolerant plants like small cacti and stonecrop are tested in the driest corner near the southern wall, adding variety and resilience during long hot days. Small shrubs like arborvitae and wild mulberries are planted near the northern strip, hope to bear fruit in autumn, enhancing rusticity and feeding local birds. Even the porch pots might see small experiments, perhaps a miniature succulent or a particularly fragrant night-blooming variety, keeping this small space interesting while staying true to the overall rustic feel. If you love exploring new ways to enhance your outdoor space, don't miss out. Subscribe to Outdoor Oasis Ideas for the latest tips, inspiration, and creative projects.